Have questions, you can always ask our Verify team. They're working to make sure you know what to expect when you show up for your appointment. Some of you want to know, will I need to bring proof of my underlying condition when I go? Here's investigative reporter Cheryl Mercedes.
Not everyone is eligible to get a COVID-19 vaccine right now. Someone asked the Verify team, what about Postal Service workers? Are they in Group 1A or Group 1B? They are not. In Texas, only frontline workers, people over the age of 65, and those with underlying conditions are eligible to get the vaccine. Now, the state health department tells me the expert vaccination allocation panel is discussing which group might come next, but no decisions have been made. Someone else wrote in, do people with underlying conditions need to show proof of that when they show up to get a vaccine? That depends. The state health department tells me they are leaving that up to the individual provider. The city of Houston does not require that kind of documentation. And lastly, someone wanted to know, if I get the COVID-19 vaccine, does that exempt me from having to show a COVID-19 negative test result before re-entering the United States? It does not. The CDC says all U.S. air passengers must show proof of a negative COVID-19 test before entering the U.S., and that is regardless of vaccination or antibody status. Back to you.
Thanks for the update, Cheryl. Send your Verify questions to verify@khou.com. Also reach us on Facebook or Twitter.